See that?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know if
It's gonna fit on there.
I don't know if it's gonna fit or going.
We can put that. I can open that up. Huh?
There you
Oh,
go.
you're gonna be all right.
There you go. This time. Okay, where is it? Okay, one's over there. There you go.
You got it. That's not bad.
How's that?
That's not bad.
Okay. Here I am. Where are we? I gotta be polite because I don't want to walk home 10 minutes. So anyway, how the hell do you get this goddamn seatbelt?
Do you want me to?
I got it. Is it childproof? Okay.
Everybody's
So
coming.
anyway, so we are here doing an interview with, your name is?
Charles Murray.
Charles Murray. And you're?
I am the ombud for the province of New Brunswick.
The Ombudsman. So I'm all excited.
Okay.
We got the Ombudsman. I got the Ombudsman, interviewed the Ombudsman. And I mean, I had the Premier Higgs, I have everybody. But
Well, you're going down now. Then. If you're
That's
trying to-
exactly my point. The Ombudsman. I'm supposed to be all excited. By the way, how come we're sitting in the car so goddamn tight?
It's airlined. It's streamlined.
How much you make an hour? Look, your head is even hitting the roof.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. But I'm supposed to be excited. But nobody gives a rat ass. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to swear. Jaden.
Oh, yes.
Augustine.
Yes.
Elsie Puckton.
Right.
You can say hi to him. Hi,
Okay.
Jaden.
Okay. So we have to watch our language for Jaden.
I haven't. Ever since then, I've been
Good.
slowing down. Okay. But right before you, Bernard Richard, he was the first one that I interviewed.
Yes.
Bernard always treated me good. It was first news conference. How come when I interview you or him, 15, 20 viewers? Nobody gives a rat ass about what the Ombudsman has to say.
Well,
I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Why?
well, it's your decision. You asked to interview me. I didn't ask to be interviewed. You know what? Part of it is that we don't have any budget for promotion or advertisement. So a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell you what an ombudsman does.
No, do they know you're useless? Is that what it is?
Well, there's somebody that's gone out many times in the public and described me as, he started at 99% useless, and then he got down to only 70% useless. I thought I was making real progress. And then he went back up to the 80s. I don't know where he's got me at now, but that guy's he's killing me in the media. He's just everything I do. Wow.
And if people pay attention to that guy, voila, we got a problem. But seriously, nobody gives a rat ass about the Ombudsman. We hear from you, what, twice a year?
Well, you got to understand what the work is, right? The work is trying to convince government behind the scenes to change its mind.
Behind the scene?
Right.
You mean you guys are busy behind the scenes?
Oh my goodness, we have hundreds and hundreds of files every year.
You mean like I did this morning with Carl Urquhart and for the native and Shitty that he lost his papa, and I'm fighting behind the scene? And I put the video on, and I'm behind the scene here. Why don't you put the video on, then we could see what you do?
Well,
and then you could go up to maybe 50% useless.
Well, okay, so there's two problems
I'll
with that.
shut up now, go ahead.
The first one is that we have to be confidential with people who come to us.
No, not that Privacy Act.
No, because we want to protect the second thing is, part of the way we convince the government to do the right thing is we tell them, look, you can get credit for this. Nobody needs to know. We don't need to do a big report about this. You can just do the right thing, and that's the end of it. We don't need to go any further with it. So in this way, it's an example of what they call soft power, right? We try to influence the government to do the right thing.
Are you doing a good job?
Well, that's for other people to judge. We have a pretty good success rate. Who judges you?
I mean, you're all surrounded by staff. They're not going to condemn you because they'll do a job.
True.
So, but you could take it. You could dish it, and you could take it. That's why we get along.
Well, no. I guess ultimately, there's a legislative assembly, and there's a committee of the assembly that reviews what we do, and there's the public.
I'm talking about work.
Yeah,
hey, boss, can I talk to you? Listen,
Right.
This is not a good idea.
Yeah, sure.
Do you get that?
Well, I try to get that. That is.
These bureaucrats keep their mouths shut. They're like Sergeant Schultz of Hogan's Hero. I see nothing, I say nothing, I do nothing.
Okay, so first of all, you have to build a team of people. You have to build a team of people who are prepared to tell you, listen, buddy, that is not good. So they're not going to be apple polishers. They're not going to be yes people. They're going to say, listen, boss, I respect you, but I don't agree with what you're doing here.
Okay.
See, that's the first thing. Now, everybody says that, right? But only over time can you prove to people that that's actually true. So I hope, but I don't know, right? I hope that right now the team of people that work in that office now understand, look, I can speak to Charles directly, either in a meeting that we're all in or behind closed doors if I need to, and I can tell him exactly how I feel, and he's not going to hold it against me.
I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, and I'm going to walk home. I don't even have my gloves.
I promise to drive you home no matter what you say.
Yeah. Ombudsman.
Yes.
Okay. Like, you're good when when that woman last year was forced to walk home from the prison.
Oh, that's a sad case, yes.
So, the Ombudsman. Woo, the Ombudsman. Here I am, but that is not right. That's it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? Okay. Don't you guys do follow-ups?
Sure. But there's an example of
how come you don't go on the media and say, oh, I did a follow-up 6 months later, and nothing is done?
So there's an example of how I think the media can distort things.
You got some Ritalin on you, or you got some marijuana so I can shut the hell up?
No.
Go ahead.
You're asking a question, I think, which is a very fair question. And we ask ourselves the same question, which is, when we do something publicly, the public usually thinks that's us doing a good job. But usually when we do something publicly, it's because we haven't succeeded in privately convincing the government to do the right thing. So the public statements we make represent failures for us more than they represent successes. I've had many conversations with ministers over the last 5 years where I've convinced the minister to change the government's direction or the policy, or to do better or fairer by a citizen.
Do you think the minister got power?
Well, the minister and the deputy...
Do you know what a bureaucrat calls a minister?
I know.
Temporary help.
I know, but I've convinced many changes, and I say I mean our team has done that, in part by saying to the minister, Minister, you and the department can take credit for this if you make this change.
You're kissing his ass.
I'm showing him that doing the right thing can also be a good thing for him.
Why don't you have a video like this and say, I'm the Ombudsman, and listen, this is my rant against Minister. We'll use Carl Urquhart. I love Carl.
Okay.
But no, listen, Mr. Urquhart, prisoners are not going to walk home. I'm the Ombudsman.
Right.
And if that happens again, I'm going public. I'm going to launch an investigation.
Okay.
And you put it on the Ombudsman website.
Okay, so I could do that.
Yeah, how come you don't?
That would be really popular. Like, people would love that. They would say...
Your salary with your card, that's fucking... Oh, I swear, sorry, Jaden.
Yeah, they would say, wow, what a great ombudsman. Yeah. He's really giving government the business, right?
Exactly.
But you have to understand, first of all...
renew your term. Yeah, that's right.
No, no, it's not a renewable term, so I'm not making any friends. You have to understand, first of all, I'm not... No, that's one of the things I like about it.
Go ahead.
I'm telling...
The hell was that? A bomb to explode?
Turning off the car.
Oh, okay.
I am not an elected person. The public elected the government to make those decisions. I advise the government, and the government has to make the ultimate decision. That's number one. And the second thing is that bashing at the government and like smashing at the government and criticizing the government is not a way of convincing the government to change how it looks at things.
You mean I've been doing it all wrong the last 10 years?
No. I mean, what you and I are doing are very different things, right?
You're paid and I'm not.
Okay, fair. But you are pushing
you can't get a big car so we can squeeze it.
Right. I was going to say, does
your head hurt?
Your big car argument doesn't work well in this car, but but you're pushing as an advocate on certain issues, right? That's that's the role you've taken on for yourself, right? You said, look, I'm going to speak out for people who have these issues. I'm going to advance those issues.
Talk about me.
No, but it's true. Like that's what you're doing. And there are other people who do that for other groups, right? Yeah. There are people who do that.
There's unsung heroes around.
Yeah, exactly. There's people who do that on behalf of Francophones.
Yeah.
There's people who do that on behalf of
Anglophones.
Sure. There's people who do that on behalf of women. There's people who do that on behalf of
ADHD.
Sure.
Autism.
All these groups, right? We have a different role, which is that we have an inside look at government, and we advise government about fairness. So what I tell people when they come to us with complaints, I say, you have to understand, I'm not on government's side. I'm not on your side either. I'm on the side of fairness.
You just see a proper procedure with pilot.
Well, yes, you say that, but you know what? That's not a small thing, because when you insist that proper procedure is followed, it becomes harder for governments to do the wrong thing.
But you give recommendation.
Yes.
And they take recommendation, put it in the garbage.
Well, our batting average by my count is about 85%. So 17 times out of 20, when we make a recommendation, government accepts it. So if you want to look at it that way, my goal is to convince government of the better way of doing things, right? So if I just bash at them and they reluctantly do something, right? I say, oh, you should have done this to this person. I just give them the business. They'll change that one thing for that one person because of the pressure. But all the other people after that, they won't have changed their mind on how they should treat them. They won't have changed their mind on how their system should be. So the unfairness will continue. Instead, I say to them, listen, look at how you could do this better. It would be better for you. It would be better for the public. It would be better for fairness. Sometimes it would even save the province money. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be a whole lot more money. If I can convince them of that, that's a big win, because that helps not just the complainant, that helps all the other people, some of whom wouldn't know to complain.
And you've been involved in politics for a long time. You know politics.
Well, years ago, but I worked as a civil servant for a lot of years too. So I have.
And you ran for politics.
Yeah.
You like politics.
Back, 1991,
yeah.
Long time, like 25 years ago, outside of St. John, Kings County.
Yeah. And you like politics?
No. I gotta say I don't.
Well, okay, but anyway,
I understand and I respect the people who are in the political world, and I have an interest in it. Like I understand its importance, and I have an interest in it almost like you do a sporting event sometimes. But my personal view is that partisan politics, like what we have now, this hyper partisanship, hurts the public body.
I'm stern, but I could be straightforward. But I like you, so I've known you for a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
What are you doing with a Jack Layton sign in the back? I just
can we see it?
You can see it. That's so how I could have said nothing, but how people see that, how they explain that.
Okay, so are we going to tell them how we got that?
Sure. As a matter of fact, I put it on my blog. I was in an old house behind the Victory Meat Market, and I had 3 signs, and I said, well, an open special, anybody wants it for a fan to have it? Not one person. I had 4 signs, and not one person. One person had it for a Christmas gift to give to somebody.
Okay, nice.
And you saw that, and you said, "I'd love to get one."
Sure.
And nobody else.
I know.
I was going to throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
So I just want to, if anybody sees a Jack Clayton sign, history.
Sure. Well, that's it, right? I have some things in my house which are old historical things from political campaigns in the past. And to me, they're interesting. They're memorabilia. I have a sign from an old Republican campaign of a few years ago, which is a really strident Republican sign. Now, I don't agree with the sign, but I thought that's really interesting. And when the campaign was over, I asked the guy if I could have it. He said, yeah. Jack Layton is now a historical figure. Like, I find those things interesting.
How come nobody wants them?
Well, I don't know if nobody wants them. I think, you know, what part of it is, though? Part of it is that the idea of politics and of serving in public office like that, for a lot of people, has become so discredited that they don't want to have anything to do with it.
I have 1 sign left. Yeah. Anybody that's still...
There you go.
Anybody is still listening to this?
Yeah.
Number 1, you really need to get a life. Go on Facebook or do something. And we're not even done yet. Okay. Mr. Useless or whatever.
Yeah, well, how much useless?
65.
65?
Oh, no,
it's a new top. It's a new top for me. 65, I take it.
No, I'm not giving it to you. 70. 70.
70. Okay, 70. I've been at 70 before.
But it could go up pretty fast.
Yes.
It could go up at the end of this interview.
Right.
If you call it, you don't call this an interview. This is a rant.
Okay.
Chicken John. Okay. Already got some marijuana on you. It's legal.
You know what?
Yeah. I haven't smoked it since it's been legal.
I am a strong believer in the legalization of marijuana because I was a criminal lawyer for years, and I saw all the effort that was being taken to convict and prosecute. A lot of money, a lot of police time was being spent for a small thing.
And ruined the record.
Yeah, exactly, and ruined a lot of futures. And I don't think it was leading to people to other crimes. But
no, too spaced out.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I've never tried marijuana.
No, you're like Stephen Horseman, or I never tried marijuana.
I've got lots of flaws, but I've never tried it.
Were you born?
I was born here in Fredericton.
And you were in Fredericton?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe so the snobbish way, but you're not a snob. So, I mean...
No, it's not.
Oh, it'd be heavy. No, we're Fredericton. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's not snobbishness.
Cocaine?
Oh, gosh, no. You're crazy to take that stuff.
No, but the snobs got money. St. John, that's where the marijuana is.
They got more money and sense if they're using cocaine, man. Ooh.
I tried cocaine once.
Yeah?
Yeah, people were bugging me a group, hang around, just bug me. No, I tried it once, and I didn't know I had ADHD.
Wow. And
I snort 3 lines.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was the best high I ever had.
Man, you can't put this on the internet.
No, of course you can, because it was a body stone, and I loved it so much. I never touch it again.
Okay,
because
well, that's smart.
But I didn't know I had ADHD.
Right.
I didn't know. And my brain was calm.
Sure.
And that's now I realize why there was lawyers and doctors married together. And the next morning they start snorting on the carpet.
Sure.
And they lost their home, they lost their car, they lost everything.
Yeah, sure.
Because of that rich man drug.
No.
I understand when I read that, I know, but it was an experience. So I tried magic mushroom, and we all did.
Okay.
But we're getting on a hand here. I know. It's all right. Now you got a new job.
Yeah. Well, I have a job in the interim.
What is that now?
I am the acting integrity commissioner for the province.
98% of New Brunswickers wouldn't know what the hell
That's right.
is.
They don't know what that is.
Okay, so talk to me in English.
Okay, so it's got two pieces of the work. One is the member's conflict of interest advisor, okay? So you deal with the members of the Legislative Assembly and you tell them you've got to put your assets in a blind trust, or you've been accused of being in conflict of interest here, and you investigate that. So that's the first part, to ensure that the members of the Legislative Assembly have good advice and that someone's there to investigate if they're accused of trying to do something to line their own pockets. Okay?
When's the last time that happened?
Oh, it happens a lot. It happens. There's lots of accusations of that goes around in investigate. Yep.
And the next one, is it the privacy law?
The other one is the privacy.
Privacy
So that has to do with two pieces. One is people asking government for right to information. I want to see information, and making sure they get all the information they're entitled to. And the second is protecting people's private information. So making sure that when government is circulating information, it's protecting our privacy as much as it should.
What about like Caroline Warnock? Who's her? She's the native. She's She's the woman that died behind bars in Miramichi in 2016. 26 years old, I think she was, or 23. Anyway, begged for her life, and we have a witness. Blah blah blah. Again, it was news there.
Right.
Never no follow up. But I read some old things last week, and it said they replied to the media, well, under the Privacy Act, we're not allowed to discuss this issue.
Yeah.
The native is dead, or not the native, the person is dead.
Yeah.
Okay, under the Privacy Act, we're not allowed.
Okay, so there's a couple things there which we could talk about. One is the question, which is a legitimate question in privacy law: how much privacy are you entitled to when you're dead, right? And there's different arguments on both sides of that. But the second thing is, when governments use, we have to protect privacy, are not really interested in protecting privacy. They're interested in withholding information that might make them look bad or embarrass them or cause. And governments sometimes hide behind, no, we have to protect privacy here, when what they're really interested in is making sure that the public doesn't come to light what happened. So that is something where a commissioner, part of their role is to look at things like that and say, no, you're going to release this information. Yes, we can still take out some names and that sort of thing, but the public, who is the owners and stakeholders and citizens and all you want to call it, the public has a right to know what its government is doing, how it's doing it, why it's doing it, how much it costs. These are all part of having an open and democratic society.
So what's the problem? You're not busy enough as an ombudsman? You got to take this job?
Well, no. What the issue is that Judge Duchesne, who's done that job now for 2 years, has had enough. The work was a lot of work for him.
2 years?
When it started, he just had one piece of it.
What's her name that ran against Rit Miles, the one before that was there?
Well, are you talking about Anne Beltran?
That's it.
Anne Beltran was the privacy commissioner before. Yeah. It was folded into the integrity commissioner with Judge Duchesne. So it was her. But the problem is, we asked Judge Duchesne to take on the conflict of interest part, and then after he said yes to that and started that, then we added on lobbyist registry, right to information. We changed the job. The government did, the Legislative Assembly did.
You said we.
Well, we the government, the society.
I thought you weren't part of the government.
Right. No, we.
That's
we
good.
New Brunswick.
That means I'm paying attention to what you're saying.
No, I appreciate that.
That's good.
So that was added to his role, and I think we have to ask ourselves: is it fair to ask a retired person to take on a full-time job like that when he really only agreed to do a job that was really just a smaller advisory job, and then we start expanding the role, expanding the responsibility. I think if I was...
He said, frig that, I'm out of here.
Well, seriously, if I was in my 70s, there's going to be a point at which I'm going to say, listen, I'd like to spend time
with my family, with my grand
Life is short. You got at a certain point, you want to spend some quality time, right? So it's not, I'm not
Okay, so their office is in the corner of Regent and King.
Yep.
And are they going to move to your building?
No. I'm just there till they find someone to take on that role. I'm just an interim person.
And how long is that going to last?
My guess?
18 months with the government?
No, my guess is it'll take the best part of a year. That's my guess. It might only be a couple months.
Do they pay you extra?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
But you mean that's going to be wider, much wider?
Honestly,
is it worth it?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how much because
you don't know how much.
No, I don't, because when they
you make that much money with the small car that the roof, the head is hitting.
Now listen,
and you never said, "Oh, excuse me, how much?"
I'll be honest, okay?
You're always honest. That's why we're having this straightforward conversation.
So when I was called and asked to consider it, the first thing I tried to do was to convince them to choose somebody else, which that didn't work, and then I said to them, how long do you think this is going to be? And they said, it might only be a few months. And I said, well, you understand that I think it might take longer because of all these other questions. And they said, and then they started to say, well, there might be, the money, right? And I said, I don't want to talk about that.
Don't want to talk about it? You're like a journalist, sorry. They're like a journalist that offer a job for communication. Let me think about it. And when you get home, you tell the wife, take it. What are you, crazy?
No, but here's the thing. In the past, it usually means a small, like an extra 2 or 3%. I don't know what it is in this case, but I'll be honest about this, okay? I'm one of the very lowest paid ombudsmen in the whole country, and I've never complained about that. I was offered an opportunity to serve the public in this way, and I'm paid like a deputy minister in a smaller department. That's the pay I agreed to. That's good pay. I'm pleased to work in New Brunswick. This is where I believe in. You can't go into something like this and be thinking about the money. You're not going to have the right attitude if you're thinking about the money.
You know what you just said there? Gator Thomas, you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I interviewed him.
Right.
And his salary, he said right straightforward, $500,000.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money.
And I tried to ask him what kind of wine does he drink. He drinks wine, but he doesn't want to tell me what kind. But $500,000, then suddenly it came out a few weeks ago that, $500,000, wish I knew that number.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
It's public knowledge.
Yeah.
And you know what? He says he got offer. People that same job, like what you just said, is paid much more in Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, but he refuses, got offered. Yeah. He refuses to go there because he loves New Brunswick.
Right. I mean, most ombuds across the country are paid the same amount as a judge. That was true in New Brunswick before me, but it's not true for me. But you have to, like, I went to law school, I got good marks. If I wanted to make a pile of money, I wouldn't be living in New Brunswick. I'd be in Toronto, I'd be a corporate lawyer, I'd have a boat or whatever, Life is not about those things. And I love this province. This is where I was born. This is where I grew up. This is where I'm raising my family. I am paid a good wage, and I have a good team of people, and the work is meaningful. And yeah, if I decide to take a job somewhere else tomorrow, I could probably double or whatever my salary. But at the end of life, you're not going to be thinking about things like that. When you think about your life, money is not what makes people happy. You need enough money to live on, and I have enough money to live on. But being rich, I've never believed is a way for people to have a meaningful life or a happy life.
What are you trying to do? Bring tears in my eyes?
No, but you look at somebody like, let's just give an example. Tiger Woods, okay? Tiger Woods.
What is he doing now?
Well, I think he's still golfing. Tiger Woods is fabulously rich. Okay, and well, I think he is. He has got a lot of money.
Oh, this alimony.
Right, yeah. Well, half of it's gone, right? He's fabulously rich.
Wrong choice, but it's all right.
He's famous.
Yeah.
Okay, and he gets to play golf for a living, okay? Yeah. But my life's happier than Tiger Woods. I have a better life than Tiger Woods. I'm still with my wife. I have kids. I have beautiful kids that I love to go home to at the end of every day. I have friends that, respect me. I'm not people aren't in the media talking about my affairs or this kind of, people would say I admire Tiger Woods, right? But I would say, you know what? I don't wish Tiger Woods any harm, but I would not trade places with Tiger Woods. My life is better than Tiger Woods' life. It's a happier, better life.
Yeah.
New Brunswick, this is one of the things in New Brunswick some of us at least have figured out, which is the problem with the rat race is even if you win, you're just still a rat. Here in New Brunswick, we have a quality of life. We have an environment that we need to protect. We have friends. We have a sense of community. We have a culture. These are the things that make life worthwhile. Money, man, if money made you happy, there'd be a lot of happy rich people around, and I don't see a lot of happy rich people. I see a lot of unhappy rich people.
Snobs.
Yeah. Well, there's an example right there. Yeah. They don't have...
Want to be elitist, too.
It's money does not lead to happiness.
Remember that video with the Brad Woodside? Do you have a ticket, sir?
Yeah.
Now that's elitists want to be elitists, and that's the mentality. And you think they're happy?
Right. Exactly. No. There's that. Do you think that person was happy? No, I don't think they were.
I would have get some.
I don't think we're happy in general. I don't think we're happy at that moment either.
Okay. Now, we went all over the place.
Okay.
We even went from me with the drug issue and you with this and that, and we went all over the place.
You should take the drug part out.
No, we're not. 25 minutes.
Okay.
Do you think we'll have more than 15 viewers that watch this?
Well,
we're trying to be a little bit more stern, so the attention is still there.
Okay, so if your headline is going to be blogger talks about using cocaine, I bet you can get more than 15 views.
We want the ombudsman.
But if your headline is, ombudsman talks in car to talk, then I'm thinking no, right? But you know what? Listen to me. That is not a bad thing. It's not you can't get into a job like this if you want to serve people and you want to do a good job and think, oh well, it's important how many likes I get and how much people. That's going to put you on the wrong path.
What do you think of people like you? Public relation, that's important. You got the good public relation.
That's kind of
you were in the talk show business in St. John.
Years ago, yeah.
I used to call you.
Yeah.
And it's not like were you, my name is Charles Murray and the album. I'm the blogger, and we got to know each other.
Exactly.
We knew each other in St. John.
Yeah.
But then we have a problem here in New Brunswick, that language issue. And I asked for Michel Carrier to sit down with me, and he said, I will not sit down with you for an interview. I'll sit down and talk to you, but no interview.
But no interview.
Do I bite? Am I dangerous?
Okay.
I mean, there's no editing here.
Okay, yeah.
But if I grab him by the neck.
Okay, but did you sit down and talk to him without the camera?
I saw him,
Okay. So to me, what you should do is you should sit down and talk to him without the camera, and then at the end of it, he might realize that you don't bite and say, okay, now we can turn the camera on.
He knows I don't bite. I think he's just arrogance.
Okay, I don't.
You won't challenge.
Well, I mean, I don't know, right? Okay, so the language issue in the province of New Brunswick is one of the ongoing challenges of the province, but it's also the opportunity. Can you find out the proper
procedure follows? Could you investigate that, you?
What, for language stuff?
Yeah.
No, that's all Commissioner of Official Languages. That's
come on, give me a break.
No. You have to stay in your legal mandate.
The person's anti-English.
Who is?
Michel Carrier.
Oh.
It sure looks like it. Don't say nothing. Don't answer.
No, I can't agree with that.
Keep your mouth shut.
Okay, but here's the thing. New Brunswick is trying to do something which is hard, but like many things which is hard, it's also the thing that's meaningful, which is we're trying to build a society in which people of different languages, so they don't even speak the same language, work together in an atmosphere where they build projects together, communities together, in an atmosphere. That's hard to do.
On parle français, nous autres, puis si qu'on pratique pas notre français, si qu'on va sur French Immersion, après qu'on sort de French Immersion, si l'atmosphère est tout anglais, tu vas le perdre.
Absolument.
Tu vas le perdre. Puis, je comprends pas pourquoi ce qu'ils disent au French Immersion ne travaille pas. Ça travaille pas à cause t'as pas de place à pratiquer. À Saint-Jean, French Immersion, tu vas parler français à Saint-Jean.
Moi, j'ai jamais fait une analyse le système d'éducation au Nouveau-Brunswick. Mais ce que je dois dire, qu'on est en train plusieurs de temps de dire « Oh, mais ça fonctionne pas, ça fonctionne pas, ça fonctionne pas », on ne prend pas assez de crédit de le niveau à lequel ça fonctionne très bien. We're trying to do something here in this province which is difficult, and we have a young group of New Brunswickers coming up who are part of two cultures getting the benefit of all that. I take my nieces and nephews,
future generation.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Marijuana is legal. No. They're too stoned to learn another
you know what? I see a lot of great kids out there, and maybe they are going to try some marijuana, but you know what? It's not going to change anything. They're going to go on. I see young New Brunswickers who understand the opportunity, the unique opportunity that we have in this province to have the benefit of two languages, two cultures, how that broadens your horizon, how that opens, and they are enthusiastic about that. They are embracing that opportunity on all kinds of levels. Like, great, you mean I get the opportunity to listen to some French songs? I'd like to do that. Oh, hey, you mean I get the opportunity to ask that French girl out? I like that. You know, hey, I get the opportunity to try some, pâte de sœur or whatever, some kind of food. I like that. So they're actually, it's not that they're being pushed in. It's not that they're, oh, well, I have to learn this for school. They enthusiastically see an opportunity for their lives to be better by exposure to a different culture. And that's meaningful. And that's something as New Brunswickers we should be grabbing.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
C'est bon.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
I want to film that there.
The outside?
No, that's beautiful.
It is.
I was looking at that.
Very Christmassy.
Very.